Hey YouTube, the reason why I'm doing this video, I'm doing it a little bit early. I got my sermon basically from a situation that happened today, and just counseling with certain people or whatever the case may be about what we say, what we do, how we're conducting ourselves and stuff like that, and how powerful they are. You know, a lot of times we have forgotten how powerful we are as people. We have to be careful what we say to other people. We have to be careful what we say about ourselves, what we allow to be said about us, what we allow to go on in our atmosphere. What this means is this: I am not going to hook up in a relationship with a person that does not care about me. I am not going to allow people to sow evil seeds into my life through the power of their tongue, because their tongue has life and death in it. Right now I'm coming to you from Proverbs 18:21, where it says, the tongue has the power of life and death. This is from the New International Version. The tongue has the power of life and death. And what's taking place with this is this: I have to be careful what I say to someone and what they say to me. Being women and men of authority, we have to really be careful, because sometimes we're entering into relationships and we're speaking negative on our partners because we have been spoken to negatively for so many years. And we think it's okay, and we think it's the norm, and we think it's acceptable, and it's not. We have spent years and years in negative environments around negative people. I can honestly say I feel sorry for my family, my children most of all, because I spent so many years dumbfounded that I pray that one day they will forgive me. But I have learned to ask for forgiveness, but also bring fruit worthy of repentance. I want to make sure that I'm bringing the right fruits to my family, because I spent so many years in dumbfoundedness or in a dumb state that I couldn't protect them. And even now, to a certain extent, I'm still not at that point where I can really protect them the way that I want to protect them, but I'm praying that God delivers. He's still working on me. He's still doing a work in me. He's getting rid of a lot of this dumbfounded stuff that I'm going through that is similar to Adam and Eve and what Adam and Eve had to endure and stuff like that. That's where a lot of these scriptures and sermons are coming from. And I had to realize that there was life and death in what I was saying. My tongue is a double-edged sword. It is a double-edged sword. It can bless and it can curse. It can grow and it can destroy. So I have to be careful how I speak to people, because I am a person of authority. This just now reminded me of a scripture as I was thinking about talking about this. Matthew 8:5-13. When Jesus had entered Capernaum, centurion came to him asking for help. Lord, he said, my servant is lying at home paralyzed, suffering tremendously. Jesus said to him, shall I come and heal him? The centurion replied, Lord, I do not deserve to have you under my roof, but just say the words and my servant will be healed. For I myself am a man under authority, with soldiers under me. I tell this one go, and he goes, and that one come, and he cometh. I say to my servant, do this, and he do it. Basically, we are people of authority. I am a woman of authority, knowing that I have authority. My children have authority, and I must teach them how to manage their authority, because they are so powerful as men, women, and as children of God. You know, I am a child of God, knowing that I have certain powers, and I knowing that God is going to gift me with certain authority, because I am faithful over the little. He's going to make me ruler over many things. So I must learn now how to address certain things and how to address people and how to deal with them with just speaking and communicating with certain people. And no, I do not communicate with the wicked, and you will understand that if you read all of Proverbs 18. My communication is not to sit up there and communicate with the wicked and conspire wickedly against the will of God. It's not going to work. My will is to actually do what God has called for me to do, and to actually speak life into people and to actually help assist people. But while I speak life into people, I also realize that I have the power to destroy my enemies. With the same tongue that I have to speak life, I can destroy also with it. With the wellness, with certain things that are used to make people well, I also can destroy with that very same thing my enemies. So knowing certain things, I have to be careful how I talk to people. What this means, a lot of us are in relationships. We're calling the person that we're dating out of their names. I honestly, we're calling them out of their names. We're quarreling with them. We're calling them out of their names. We're being very disrespectful to who we're dating. If you're dating a young woman and you're a man, you're calling her all kinds of HOEs and stuff like that, BITCHs, and how you can't stand her, and she's pretty much calling you all kinds of other stuff, PUSSY type stuff, and you ain't this and you ain't that, and she's returning it back in return. And you got to realize all of that is speaking death into each other. So pretty much you already killed that relationship and killed yourselves while you were doing it. So why are you there? Why are you in those type of relationships that are toxic to you as a person? Because his words have authority. Your words have authority. And when you start to speak negative words into each other, that means that basically you already destroyed and brought death to that relationship, because you treated that relationship like it was an enemy to you instead of like it was love to you. So you never had kind words to say to that person, but at the same time you want that person there. And I'm one that actually is strong on the devil. So I don't like people to tell me they love me and then curse me out afterwards and call me out my name. I don't like people to show me that you love me one minute and the next minute you're trying to destroy me, and you're showing me you're going to destroy me, because that's what the devil does. And that confusion, whenever something confuses me and it kind of has me iffy, I say that's the devil. I don't want nothing to do with it. I'm leaving it alone. I want to get as far away from toxic people as possible. I'm leaving it alone, because there's going to come a time when I can't get away, and I want to make sure that I have already centered myself and surrounded myself around people that love me instead of people that hate me and people that don't want me to be with them. So even with family members, I have to be careful what I say to my family members, because I can speak death into my whole bloodline by just what I say. So I have to be careful what I say to my brother, my sister, my mama, my friends, and family and stuff like that. Even when I'm in my angry state, I have to be careful, because before, they would have got it. I would have rat-a-tat-tat-tat. I would have told them about who they was and where they can get on, off at, and stuff like that. And today, God really dealt with me on this situation, you know, just dealing with me as a whole and saying, okay, maybe you just need to be silent when you're angry, especially when you're angry. But even when you're in a play state, be careful, because sometimes we're already fragile. Some people have already said negative things to us. And when family comes and says negative stuff, even if they're playing, it can hurt. So we have to be very careful what we say, because we might be speaking death and not even know it. When we can be, you're that powerful. You might say to somebody, go jump off a bridge somewhere, and they might actually go do it. And you like, hold up. I gotta be careful what I say for real. I got to really work with Jesus on what I say, because to be totally honest, I get in my feelings real quick. So honestly, we really have to be careful how we address situations, what we say in certain situations, how we do things, how we attempt to do things, because there is power in what we do. You're going to say to some things, go, and it's going to go. You're going to say to some things, come, and it's going to come. What did Jesus say? Tell the devil, get thee behind me, Satan. When you're rebuking him, I don't even tell the devil, get thee behind me right now. I tell the devil, get from around me. Get from around me. I'm not even telling you to get behind me. I don't need nothing behind me stabbing me in my back. Look, get from around me, period. Because I'm starting to realize that I'm such a powerful person that I can kill some people with these words, man, for real. I can destroy people. I can make them happy. I can make them sad. I can do some powerful things. And being women and men of authority, we have to be careful what we say. We are people on hierarchy. So my son told me this today. He's like, Mama, I'm a man that believes in a hierarchy. If they under me, they under me. And I'm realizing, I say, okay, gangster, I hear you. I hear you. You got that. I hear you. But I also have to tell him today, too. I say, be respectful to every person that you come in contact with. I don't care where they are on that hierarchy. Be respectful. Show respect. Show homage. You never know what you're walking up on. Sometimes we're walking up on homeless people that have paved ways for us, but they're in the streets right now. And we have to address them with respect and deal with these people with respect. So even if I see you and you're homeless, I'm going to deal with you with respect, because I demand respect back. And so I'm going to sow respect to get respect. I'm going to sow life to get life back. What I send out into the universe has to come back to me. What I sow, I have to reap. Whatever I do, I have to pay the cost for. So knowing that I pay the cost to be the boss, certain stuff I'm just not going to sow. I don't like to sit up there and reap bad stuff. So I'm just not going to send bad things out into the universe, because I got to reap that. So therefore, I don't care where you at on the totem pole. I be like, yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am, to little babies and kids. Because guess what? I never know when I'm not going to be where I want to be at. I never know when things are going to go south for me. I never know when things are going to go bad. So I got to trust in God always. Make sure that I'm sowing the right seeds. Make sure that I'm speaking the right things into the atmosphere. If I'm going to curse something, I got to make sure it's the enemy of mine, it's the enemy of God, all that. If I speak death into you, you gonna die. I don't know when, but it's gonna happen, because I had to speak it. So therefore, what I'm saying to people is this: even with your family, I sometimes go through quarrels, and it's hard to keep your mouth shut with them sometimes. And you know, they constantly nitpicking at you and stuff, dishonoring themselves, because they're coming at you. You're not coming at them. You're being respectful, and they're coming at you, and they're being very disrespectful. So I had to learn to be quiet. I learned that today. Just be quiet. Because there's life and death in the power of my own tongue. I can speak depression into people. And I can also speak depression off of people. I can speak life into them, and I can speak death into them. I can tell them to die. And they might die because of my position and my authority. So I have to be careful of how I deal with people, and I pray that when you guys come into contact with people that you're doing the same thing, that you're being careful with how you deal with people. That's even if you're an employer. You got people up under you, deal with your people appropriate way. Speak to them the right way. Give them fair pay. Do what you're supposed to do by these people, because guess what? If you're not, at some point they're going to get up and leave. Sometimes they can't leave right away, but when the door opens for them to leave, they gone. And they ain't looking back. Because of the simple fact you was very disrespectful. And you was speaking death on them constantly. And they almost died up under your reign. But through the grace of God, they lived. And nobody wants to be under that. So they trying to get from around you because you're toxic to them. Where you had the power to build up, you was tearing them down. And they don't want to be around that. So you guys really think about your position. Think about your authority. Think about your power. And be careful what you say to people, because there's life and death in what you say. You can pray for peace. You can pray for growth. You can pray for all that. And what you say and what you do, you want to be respectful at all times. You want to be sowing good seeds at all times. You want to be sitting up there doing what you're supposed to do. But guess what? I don't have to bless my enemies. I can curse them. I ain't got to speak blessings on you. I don't have to do all that mess that you think. I'm not giving you that which is righteous. I'm not going to give you life when you're taking life from people. I can't give you that which is righteous. Even Jesus said that. I can't give that which is righteous to the unrighteous. You will not continue to speak death into people and expect me to give you life. That's not how it works. And you will not sit up here and come here and disrespect me and expect me to sit up there and speak life into you. But I serve a mighty God, so I try to be careful with what I say to people. So if I give you the business and I give you the death business through these tongues, trust me, you deserved it. Because you will not come and nitpick and think that you're going to sit up there and you're going to meet righteousness that will not sit up there and fight back. It fights back. We have to be careful what we're sending out into the universe, you guys. Really, I cannot stress this enough. Be careful what you send out into the universe. Send good, sow good seeds, do right. If we send up there and we're supporting injustice, unrighteous people, sodomite people, and we're holding these people up, we know they wrong, but we send up there, we supporting them, we're bearing false witness, we're lying for them. When the time for judgment comes, we're sitting up there and supporting false judgments and sitting up there crucifying the innocent. We have a price to pay for that death. You're crucifying the innocents. You have a price to pay for that death. And you will pay the utmost cost for it. So we really need to be careful what we're doing from day to day. When we know somebody's wrong, speak against it. Speak against that. Speak against these sodomites. Speak against these unrighteous people, because you sitting there and you witnessing it and you're not saying anything and you're staying quiet about it. It's not going to help. You have to report it. You have to sit up there and you have to say something about it. And I'm going to be real with you. In this day and time, a lot of times we might not be able to say something about it, but we can do something about it that may make a big difference in assisting the person that's being victimized in some kind of way. So maybe you can't report, because if you report, they're doing all kinds of, and you have proof of this type of retaliation or whatever, and it's tyrant behavior, which caused tyranny to a nation and civilians and citizens and stuff like that. We have to deal with that. Even tyranny to a person of the opposite side, we have to be careful with as well, because at some point we have to pay the Pied Piper. Because they're going to say, when they capture one of ours, they're going to say, hey, they did such to us, we can do it to them too. Ain't no difference in me than you. So we have to be careful what we're sending out into the universe, what we're speaking into the universe, what we're saying into the universe, what we're doing in this universe, because at some point we have to pay. And I always say we got to pay the Pied Piper. The Pied Piper is something totally different. You be just moving on cruise control, paying the piper, and I hate to be on cruise control in an automatic. So you already know certain things I ain't gonna do it, because I don't want to pay you nothing. I work too hard. I work too hard and too long. I slave too much to have to pay back anything, even for my words, man. I work too hard, man. And this is what I like to impart into my children. This is what I'm imparting to everybody. Man, be careful what you do. Sow good seeds. Have respect for everybody that you come in contact. I don't care if they're homeless. I don't care if they're underneath you. I don't care if they're an employee. Have respect for their employee. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Child, a baby, or a dog you come into contact with, do it to respect to move out its way. It's just a respect thing. I see people with their dogs all the time. They walk, oh, my dog doesn't bite. That's fine. Could you please just go around me? I don't want no contact with it. See people with their cats, whatever their pets. Look, give it respect. Give it space. Let it do what it does. It's just out of principle. Because if you come at the person the wrong way with your pets or anything else, and eventually at some point you have to pay the cost for that. So we have to be respectful, not just with our words, but respectful with ourselves. But above all things, the lesson today was being respectful with our conversation, which is saying the right thing. But I don't want you to just say the right things. Let us have respect in all things and doing the right things too. May these words encourage you. May they bless you guys. I love you. Always speak good to your partners. Stop speaking death in those relationships. Stop speaking death to your family. And get it right, you guys. Stay blessed.